La Muerta Devious, Chapter 9 in the La Muerta series, brought to you by Coffin Comics. Talking from layouts to final inks. Thank you for joining me, everybody. My name is Joel Gomez. I am the series illustrator of La Muerta, published by Coffin Comics. And I would like to share with you today the process of doing these sequential pages for La Muerta Devious. It's a new thing. All of the previous chapters, I never really shared any of the process, and it's been a really fun thing to do, and I thank you guys for joining me. Today's video is going to be a little bit longer than the previous videos. Somebody had mentioned to me in a previous video that they would have liked to have heard or had me read the script so they could understand how I chose the shots I used in the particular page. And so I thought that would be a fun way to share more about the process and how I break down a page. So that's what today's video is going to be about. Really quickly, I want to give a shout out to Beth Sotelo for setting all this up, the cameras, the lighting, the sound. Without it, I wouldn't be able to connect with you guys. So without further ado, let's jump right into it, and I will share this layout with you. All right, we're doing the picture-in-picture. All right, cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first read the script, and then I'll go into the actual panels and what's in the panels, right? So I'm just going to read the script as you look at this layout, and I will tell you each panel as it's described. Panel 1, interior, Dodge, moving. King and Maria, both on high alert now as they drive through this neighborhood. Both are calm but serious. Derek, stay sharp. Kidnapping's a way of life down here. Maria, damn it, wish I was armed. Panel 2. The Dodge pulls into an open garage of an ugly, squat building. Coils of barbed wire protect the roof. Windows are shuttered. The place is equipped with cameras and security lights. It's a fortress. Maria, caption. Derek's GPS leads to a barrio fortress. The garage swings open for us. Panel 3, interior garage, sunset. Maria and Derek step out of the car into the dimly lit garage. They are apprehensive. Maria, God, I hope this is the right place. Panel 4, close up, Maria. She flinches and squints against a harsh light pointed at her face. Off panel, hands where I can see them. Panel 5, this should be the biggest panel on the page. We see, new character I'm not going to name, an honest Mexico City cop, but she's not in uniform. I imagine her looking this way. Description of clothing. And then it says, but I would go with a different color. Oh, I'm sorry. She aims a pistol with a flashlight connected underneath its barrel. She's toned and muscular, but still feminine. Right. All right. So this is 5 panels for this page. Really quickly, I want to just show you. Sorry for the harsh light. All right. So the reason I'm doing this is, all right. You get a sense like I've shared this in previous videos, but I'm going to again repeat the idea. I like to break the panels down, or I like to break the panels up into thirds. 2 vertical lines breaking up the panel evenly, and 2 horizontal lines breaking up the panel evenly. So 1, 2 down, 1, 2 across. And where the axes of the horizontal vertical lines meet is what's considered, interesting points for, points for an interesting composition. So if you were going to have objects sitting in this frame, these 4 points would be the most compelling to make a somewhat interesting composition, at least using this theory. I'm sure there's plenty of other ways, right? Okay, so that just shows you each panel has somewhat of a little thirds in the background of it, just to get that interesting composition in the panel, right? Okay, panel 1, Maria and King in the car, looking out the window, chit-chatty. And in the script, there's each person talking has a number, so there'll be a number 1 or a number 2. And so I assigned those numbers, right? Great script from Mike McLean, with some help from Brian Polito, I think. And always love their scripts. Panel 2, we have the car here coming into the garage. Caption here for number 3. Panel 3, Maria and King stepping out of the car, dimly lit garage. Panel 4, Maria flinches and squints against a harsh light. Panel 5, new character. She aims a pistol with a flashlight connected underneath its barrel. So this is the new character here in the shot. All right. So again, this just gives you the idea of how I would break that down. And you can see here, like I have this car kind of almost 3/4, the headlights are right here, and it's almost like coming towards us. I don't know, because that garage is over there, maybe it's a little misleading, right? Everything else, I think it reads fine. So at this point, what I do, if I like how that's working out, I will then blow up said layout to a larger size, and I'll start working out the finer details of that layout, right? So let's check that out. Let's change this camera, zoom out a little. There we go. Nice setup. Okay. All right. Again, just really quickly to give you the sense, breaking it up, keeping true to that idea of the thirds. I want to see how that works out, you know, in this whole issue, using it consistently. Okay, panel 1, we have Maria here, King, same, just working it out. I use brush pens to work out the larger shapes. This I was already feeling a little weird about, as I mentioned previously, and so I started changing it. Previously it was a 3/4, almost looking at us, headlights almost facing the reader. And now I've changed it so that we're at a profile angle of the car. This would be the passenger side. So it's now pointed more directly towards the garage, which I thought made more sense, made it more clear that it's entering the garage, I think anyway, we'll see. And then once I did that, I realized that I previously had a very flat like side view of the car and them coming in, and so I thought I already have one here, I need to maybe try a 3/4 angle here. So I started fudging it in here, changing it from the original rough. This panel, pretty much as it was in the layout, the previous layout, the rough, I liked it, I went with it. This panel, I was kind of messing around with this. I didn't like the angle of her feet. It didn't really, I wanted her resting on this knee here, you know? And so it didn't look like she was. It looked like she was doing some weird like crab walk. I like the arms pose, and I like the way she's aiming off screen, you know, kind of pushes you to turn the page. But I just wasn't, I don't know, I needed to work on that, so I need to figure that out. All right, so this was enough, and I thought I had enough information here that I wasn't going to be doing too many more wholesale changes on what I have here, and so I felt good enough to carry this over into the final artboard. So let me get that set up so I can share with you. All right, let's see here. All right, picture in picture so you can see. All right, so here we go. Panel 1. Pretty much similar, only now I've zoomed in even closer on Maria here. Like I thought, you know, we could just get her head in there. She's the important part of this panel, so I just kind of zoomed in more on her there. Still on course with what it was here, but I just zoomed in on her. Panel 2, okay, much different, right? So like here's the original. You see, again, the car is kind of facing the reader, right? Like it's almost coming at us, which is a little bit confusing because it should be turning and going into that garage. And so in the larger rough is when I thought I need to change that. And so, and in the final, you can see here, I went ahead and went wholesale change on that. And I made sure to, Coffin Comics, I like to throw in a bunch of people who support and back La Muerta on the Kickstarter. I always make a habit of putting their names in the book, or just like little Easter eggs, fun stuff to make the viewers part of the experience, right? Okay, so then here, panel 3, here again, we're doing that thing where you could see it's pretty similar to what I went with, and the lighting I changed a little bit. I had it more angled towards this garage, but it's as expected. And here, panel 4, pretty much the way it looked in the rough. It went pretty easily, smoothly through each stage. And then this final panel, you can see how I kind of changed it up a bit, right? You see the, again, she's not doing the crab anymore, right? She's actually resting on that knee. And so that was a part I needed to work out because I really wanted to make sure we got a good view of her looking pretty cool as an off-duty Mexico City cop, right? And oddly enough, like this face gave me some hassle, and I'll show you a little trick of things of how I do. I have a bad habit of always having to do patches, right? So it's like I'm always reworking stuff in the inks, and I have to like cut it out and turn it into a patch. And this is a good example I'll share with us. Let's see here. All right, here we go. All right, so let's see if you see in this, oops, you see this face. You know, she's looking pretty tough, right? And so if you turn, you can almost see. Oh, maybe not that way. Sorry about that. Yeah, it's a patch. That face is patched in right there. You can see. Yeah. Yeah, so this is the final inks for this page. Again, stages of the we have from the quick rough. A lot was worked out on the rough that actually made it to the final page. But it's such an organic process. It's always, you kind of go with the flow and you're feeling it, and some subtle little change in one panel could all of a sudden cascade into other panels, and it'll make the change happen throughout, right? But not all the time. Sometimes it doesn't have to work out that way. And this gives you a sense of how I go about working out from rough layouts to the final inks. So it's been a great learning process for me, because it didn't always work out that way. I kind of would my process has evolved a little bit as I've kept going, and I'm always constantly looking at other work to get a sense of, well, how are more traditional artists doing this? Because a lot of guys that I know work digitally, which I think is amazing. That stuff's such a great shorthand for getting things done faster. And I just never caught on with that whole experience. And so I'm just old school traditional. And so it seems that I'm doing a lot of the old school techniques with patches and whiteout and all that kind of stuff. But maybe there's a better way. So we'll see. And hey, maybe there'll be some new tricks learned along the way. So thank you guys for joining me on this whole process. If you have any questions about any of this, please don't hesitate. Ask me a question down below. It's been really fun. I've had a chance to interact with some people on here with these videos, and I'd like to hear more from you guys. And if you have specific things that you'd like to see worked out, if you got hang-ups on certain things with pages, let me know. Maybe it's something that I'll be working on in the near future, and I could consider adding that into what I could do. I was considering sharing how I go about making patches and or the process of that, but I didn't know if that was something that would interest people. Let me know, maybe in the comments below. Well, thanks again for joining me, guys. I appreciate it. Hopefully we'll have another video up in another week or so. I'll try another page. I've been trying to get more of an action page going, but I keep forgetting to ask Mike and Brian about that. I have a few pages that are in the can that I would love to share, but I need to make sure it's okay. So let me figure that out next. I'd love to start working out some of those things on a video with you guys to share how I break those things down. So I'll fill you in more as we get going. But thanks again. I really appreciate it. Let me leave you on this page here. And once again, this is La Muerta Devious. It should be out next year from Coffin Comics. And I'll be recording the process as I go. So thank you very much. Have a great week, weekend, day, night, morning, evening, and look forward to seeing you again in the next video. All right. Take care, guys. Bye.